Our fifth team is Vurse from Christopher Columbus High School in Miami, Florida. Their innovation Vurse Sync is a video aggregation system allowing for seamless footage and audio syncing from a near limitless number of external cameras. Please welcome Vurse.
Hi, so today we're going to be showing you an amazing product. However, before we do so, I'd like to give you some context. Now, imagine you're a content producer, maybe even a media outlet, and you're producing an interview. Now, this interview, you're using 3 cameras, and your interview goes great. It's a perfect interview. You send that footage over to your video editing software only to realize that maybe the first camera was a little delayed, out of sync, maybe 5 seconds. Why? Because it's impossible to synchronize, to start all 3 cameras at the same time. You don't have 3 hands, so you can't do that. Now, this is no problem. Since the inception of the video industry, we've seen these little clapping devices, and you clap really hard, and you could reference the syncing point based on the audio waveforms, and you could see a spike. And that's what video editors use in movies and whatnot. But we think this process is extremely inefficient and could be massively streamlined. And Jesus Capo, our hardware engineer, is going to talk about how we're doing that.
Yeah, so originally our idea was to create a device that could sync up all the footage and audio through connected connections that you can see there on that box right there. Now that's bulky, that's big, and that costed $2,000 and can only connect up to 5 cameras. So yes, it solves the issue of the syncing, but it's very inefficient. So what we wanted to make was a device. You can see the device right here. This device is streamlined, it's portable. It basically anybody could use this device, and you can see that's the prototype up here. I mean, it's slightly larger than the one you see up there. That's our perspective prototype. That's what we're working on right now. That's gonna be your final model, which is much thinner. But essentially, all you need to do is you click this button. You have different modes, and then it'll essentially activate a system. See, and any cameras within the vicinity, about 360-degree radius, can detect those signals through LEDs and speaker system. And later on, when you upload the footage to our software, our proprietary software, it'll sync up the footage, no human intervention involved. And you heard, go to the next slide. Yeah, you can see up there, that's the LED module of the system. This is what's detected by our proprietary software. And then down there, you can actually see the speaker system. And then this speaker system, it has specific frequencies and patterns that are detected by our software, and it can relay metadata information. So scene information, production information, any type of information like the clapboard right there, what you heard, that sound you heard on that system right there is the same exact information that's being relayed on that clapboard. So in there, up there, that's a button. They have access to the LED module on the top, and then that red button right there is a universal one-stop shop to all the functions of that device. So this device is essentially a replacement for that clapboard, and it revolutionizes syncing in the video industries and all industries that utilize video. So syncing, organization of footage, and transfer of metadata. This one device right here in such a small form factor can perform every single one of these functions and solve an issue that has been prevalent in the video industry for nearly 100 years. And it works for all cameras, security cameras, professional cameras, mobile cameras. So naturally, we allowed our software to work with all OSs. And if you don't want to use our software standalone, you can also utilize our software with your favorite types of video editors that you can see up there. So really, in order to make this system work, we had to have a variety of skill sets that we would utilize in order to create this revolutionary product.
As Jesus said, we have the skills. So our team, we leveraged our skill sets, Jesus on the hardware development side, myself, Chris, on the software development side, and Alex on the business side. So we utilize industry standard software such as Autodesk Inventor and AutoCAD, as well as leading edge software development tools like Qt, and this allowed us to do some rapid prototyping and auto research. Our latest prototype uses a 3D printed enclosure, and it's based around the Arduino Nano microcontroller. It uses cost-efficient components such as LEDs, a small battery, and just some wires. I'm going to let Alex tell you a little bit about the cost.
So as you could imagine, we're looking at such a simple product. We actually were able to get down to $10 per unit. This is our cost. And just to give you an idea, we're going to purchase or produce 500 units, and that's going to leave us at $5,000 initial investment for production. And just to give you an idea, if we sell that at just $30 price point per unit, that's a $15,000 revenue. Now, idealistically, we're going to look at ourselves probably investing probably $9,000 to $10,000 just for marketing, logistical stuff, and all that other stuff. Now, this arc right here, this is the law of diffusion of innovation. And we want, this is kind of like talks about how, or this shows how products really maneuver or are distributed within our society. And as you can see here, we want to get our early adopters. We want to really push out our products to early adopters first, so we can make that transition to early majority and the late majority people, and that's where the money is really made. Just to give you an idea, we're operating inside of a blue ocean market strategy, and if you're familiar with blue ocean, red ocean market strategy, blue ocean's a very innovative area where people are it's an uncontested market strategy, really, and that's where we're operating. I mean, there's not really a direct competitor with a product like this. It's very innovative in that sense. Now, we're going to get our product out to the early adopters by just giving it away for free, just maybe a few hundred units at least. And these people have a lot of influence and YouTube followers, so they have a lot of influence. Now, we're going to be on Amazon.com, eBay, our own website, and we're going to do all the marketings. We've done many products before, and we're going to use every level of marketing that we understand. Chris here is going to talk a little bit about the timeline and how we're doing this all.
All right, so initially, right after the summit, we're going to open up pre-orders, finalize our design, and actually start up production. In October, we're going to ship out the initial prototype to our consumers for just so they could get it. I'll let Jesus cap off the production now.
Yeah, so because our product solves a direct pain point in every industry that utilizes video, we truly believe that this product will allow for efficient workflows all across the entire board of everybody who utilizes video in all industries, and allow people who work with video to focus on what truly matters. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. That was great. So one of my questions is, what is this thing?
Yeah, I'll answer that. Okay, so essentially, we spawned this idea based after we talked with a few people in different businesses who utilized video and had this issue. So we created this device that you essentially connect all the cameras, but it has to reprocess the footage in order to sync it all. Basically, it does the syncing mechanism that we wanted and we desired, but it's very bulky, costs $2,000 because we needed to reprocess the footage. So it's pretty much like almost a computer entirely because you need to reprocess footage. But then afterwards, we thought, hey, why are we doing this at this price point? We want to reach the mass markets, make it under $50. We got it to $30, well, $10 to produce. And that's where we came with this product, which essentially utilizes our software along with this small device in order to perform the same functions.
So that replaces that?
Yes, this right here replaces that. And then the picture you saw on the screen, that's our projected model for the size.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, I would like to thank you all very much for having a product and holding it up. One of the frustrations down here has been that people have talked about the product, it's sat there, and no one has reached out, and you reached out. In fact, if I were you, I'd throw that thing right in front of you. So congratulations, well done, and a functional product as well. Question I have is a business one, however, and that is the market. Can you guys run it for me again in terms of who is the market here? Clearly, you'll have television, movies, whatever else at this point, or whoever else is doing film right now. But what else are we doing in terms of, well, what's the marketplace? What's the marketplace?
Yeah, sure. So as you can imagine, this integrates straight into every video editing software you're familiar with, Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and typically any industry really that involves video. So big businesses that are big brands really that use multi-level camera production type of things that you see. So really, this could be applicable to almost every industry. And if you could look at marketing in general, I mean, video is pretty much leading marketing in terms of marketing in general. So yeah, this integrates straight into the software. Any video editor could use this. Any project-based that has multiple cameras, any big brand, any company, governments, perhaps even in the cybersecurity section where we could see, maybe even security cameras. This could all be implemented to all those industries. I mean, any industry really that uses multi-camera production.
I'd like to add something. At the end of the day, every industry utilizes video. I mean, right now we have a bunch of cameras recording us. As you noticed, when you actually clicked it and it beeped, those beeps, that was actually the metadata that is right here on this clapper, which is today's date, the amount of cameras recording, things like that. So in essence, we kind of just synchronized all those cameras.
So that brings me to my question, is I'm an investor, and the first thing I want to know is the problem you're solving.
It's not necessarily a problem, it's an inefficiency. Because it's not a problem. They've used these these clappers for decades. I mean, you've seen this since the inception of the video industry. So it's an inefficiency. We think it could be massively streamlined because the data on here could be transferred through the frequencies very seamlessly and systematically. So we think it's not a problem, it's an inefficiency. And we're solving that inefficiency, making it automated, streamlined, efficient.
So your device replaces a clapper.
Yes, exactly.
And it integrates seamlessly into like all video editing software, and you're not going to have your footage to not be synchronized.
Yeah, no, and another thing is that we were focusing on market research, and we found that a lot of video editors, and even when we were producing our video for Conrad, we had to utilize this as well, the syncing, and it takes, for larger companies, dozens of hours just to sync up the footage because they have to have a person manually going to each one, syncing them up based on the information that's on the clapboard. So this basically automates the entire process, saves dozens of hours.
Yeah, editors shouldn't focus on that part. They should focus on the more important things.
So can I ask a similar question to what problem you're solving? So let's fast forward in the future where we have wireless connectivity between all these things and they're synchronized on a millisecond factor. Would there be someone who's on the set saying, it's a real pain that my Nikon system doesn't work with my Red system, doesn't work with my Canon system. I have this great invention. I'm going to just make a loud noise on set that all of them capture because they're all capturing audio to use as my way of synchronizing. So is the problem you're solving that it's hard to make a system like this that does the synchronization? Or is the reason why they're still using audio and clappers because that actually allows for something that doesn't require the integration that might come from a system?
The beauty of our product, it requires no integration. The integration doesn't exist. It's the software interprets it later on. So whatever camera, it could be an iPhone, an iPad, a Red, a Canon, a Nikon, whatever it is, it hears that signal because as a microphone, it sees the light, and you could use them interchangeably. And later on in our software, which integrates to Premiere Pro and any other video editing software, it interprets that and syncs it. So really, integration right now is not something that we're focusing on because we can't install software on every camera.
Okay, so you would argue that your innovation is that you're actually building an electronic clapper that actually encodes information in the audio that you can actually use later.
Yeah.
And it actually has a lot of functionality. For example, we're going to be selling that for $30. This clapper costs $25.
Yeah, that only costs. And then essentially as well, we thought original idea was the syncing, but then we thought, the transfer of metadata. So the clapper has other information that's useful to the people as well. So even if you do like a clapping sound or really loud sound, that doesn't convey the information. Like sure, you could use that sound to sync, but it won't convey the director information or scene information or timestamp information or any other metadata. So we've actually integrated that, and you could use this on our software seamlessly, and it'll do it automatically.
So one little piece of advice, so sometimes it's helpful to stop talking because I want to give you guys some serious props here, and I'm being told that I can't ask a question. So, so first of all, I think this is a brilliant invention. This does solve the problem. It's a very narrow niche problem, but it is a problem. And anyone who's ever done any video editing knows that. And so I want to give you guys serious props for that. I do want to comment that there's still the integration problem because you say that you integrate with Premiere Pro. Your software still has to integrate with other software tools. Yeah. And so just think about that issue.
What do you mean, like other video editing softwares?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. Sony Vegas Pro, Final Cut Pro, and even Mac or Apple. I mean, Mac or Windows, whatever you like.
As well.
Yeah, we have all integrations. In the software side of it, not to the camera.
Right. Yeah, I get that.